Thank you very much. First of all, I want to start just by thanking the Rosh Hashiva for joining us here tonight. It's a schus for us to have you, and I want to thank you for all that you've done for Aish Torah through thick and thin. Thank you so much. There's a famous question at the very beginning of Pirkei Avos when it says, Moshe Kibel Torah mi Sinai. And of course the question is that really Moshe received the Torah from Hashem. Why does it say that Moshe received it from Sinai, from Mount Sinai? And the Maharal says that the reason that Sinai is put in there is because when you receive Torah, when you come close to Hashem, the experience is just as important as what you've received. The whole experience at Har Sinai, when we stood there, was so incredibly important. And being here this Shabbos in this hotel and spending it with all of you, I can honestly say that the experience of this Shabbos, of being here with Project Inspire, of being here with each and every one of you, is just as important as everything else that we've done. It has been so inspirational and energetic. It's really been incredible. And I want to thank some of our partners that have made that possible. Founding partners, Dr. Stuart and Andrea Heitman. Stuart has become one of my closest friends. A day does not go by where I don't speak to him multiple times and WhatsApp him many times. I also want to thank the convention chairman, Isaac Gross, and his wife, Edie. Isaac has been, for me, almost that little person on my shoulder telling me which way to take Aish. He's been an incredible friend, and for me, just a real presence in the organization and helping us stay true to Rav Noah's vision. I also want to thank the staff, Rabbi Chaim Sampson, Yossi Friedman, all the staff that are here for this incredible weekend. You know, as I sat where you're sitting right now and I looked up and I saw that this was the 8th convention, it struck me, a few weeks ago we had a Yarchei Kala in memory of Rav Noah Weinberg. It was his 8th yurtzeit. And I asked, and we were trying to figure out whether the first convention of Project Inspire, whether it was right before or right after Rav Noah passed away. But clearly, he was never able to be at a Project Inspire convention. And not only that, the Aish building that so many of you have been to, the beautiful Aish building, he passed away before it was completed. And I started to think about a story by a wise sage many of you have probably heard of named Walt Disney. Now, Walt Disney famously passed away before the completion of Disney World. And one of the reporters said to his brother Roy, they said, Roy, isn't it terrible that your brother passed away and he never got to see Disney World? And Roy said, you don't understand. My brother saw it and that's why it's here. And I would say that Rav Noah saw this room. He saw this room with 1,500 people in it. He saw that building and the thousands and thousands of people that would come through and learn Torah in that building. He saw it, and that's why we're sitting here today. And it's his schus that we will carry on his message and his legacy for many years to come. Avram Avinu, who for all intensive purposes was the first Jew, was referred to in Tanakh and Yeshaya as Avraham Ohavi. Avram was the one that loved God. And the Rambam comments on the pasuk V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha that the way to demonstrate our love for Hashem is by inspiring other people to love Him as well. And no one carried that message in a stronger way than Avram Avinu. So strong that we know it talks about Nefesh Asher Asu B'Charan. The Rambam says that tens of thousands of people grew to know about God, grew to love God through Avram's efforts. And the question that we've all asked so many times is, while it was absolutely beautiful that these nefashos that came Haran, but what happened to them? They disappear from Jewish history. In fact, if you were to do a long-term study on Avram Avinu's kiruv efforts, you might consider him a failure. Because out of those tens of thousands of people, only Yitzchak made it to the next generation. Where did they go? I think that the nefesh she'asu b'charan, that these nefashos were missing two ingredients that Yitzchak had. The first one was a Jewish home. Hashem says, Ki b'Yitzchak yikar lecha zara, that Yitzchak will carry on. Yitzchak grew up in a Jewish home. And we know that for Jews to come close to Judaism, Hashem, it all starts in the home. And we've heard so many stories this weekend. I was so moved about hearing Corey and Nachman describe that from that elevator, how Corey made it to Nachman's home. We know that it's impossible to get close without seeing a Jewish home, to see what we can create, to see what we can build, to see where we can live, to see where we can carry on the Masorah. That's what Yitzchak had, and that's what those nefashos didn't. And it's not only the Jewish home, but it's our spiritual home as well. It's their shuls. And so many times our shuls, our beautiful shuls, are not always as open as they would like them to be. When I spent many years in the OU, I used to cry about the fact that when I was young, there would be a kippah box, a place where someone could get a kippah in shul. And some of our shuls today, there's no place to get a kippah if someone comes in without one. And I want to relate a story that happened to me in my travels. I traveled quite a bit, and I was at one of the Aish branches that doubles as a shul, and I happened to be in the neighborhood, someone I knew, and they had recently constructed a large shul, and I went to see it. And one of the people there said to me, almost proudly, he said, "We don't really have Bali Tshuva here, they go to Aish." And I hid my disgust at the comment, and we continued talking, and he started telling me about the shul, about the issues, and somehow his personal family life came up. And we started to talk about his son who was having challenges. And we in the Frum community know that as important as kiruv rechokim is, kiruv krovim is something that we need to deal with it all as well. And I started to tell him a story. I said, would you mind if I share a story with you about the Mormons? And I've told this story all around the world, and I want to share it with you here now and the effect it had on him. I used to do a lot of lobbying in Washington, and I was very friendly with some of the other faith-based lobbyists, the Catholics, the Mormons, other people. And one time I was sitting there with a Mormon friend of mine, and I said to him, let me ask you a question. I said, you send out all your post-high school students on shlichus. You send them around the world to proselytize, to create converts. How successful are they? And he said, I have no idea. I said, you spend millions of dollars a year on sending these emissaries out and you have no idea if you're successful? He says, yeah, we don't do it to get converts. We do it for our children. Because if they go door by door by door and have to tell over their story, it strengthens them inside. And I told this story to this father. And I said, perhaps you should invite Bali Tshuva into your shul. Perhaps you should invite people in that may not know Torah. Perhaps your son could learn with them. Perhaps you can have them at your Shabbos table. And he told me that he would. And in fact, he has since that moment. The first thing they were missing was a Jewish home. But the second thing they were missing was Torah. Avram inspired them. He told them about Hashem and they got excited. But they didn't have the Torah. The question is asked when Sarah passes away, Yitzchak's mother, where is he? He's not found in the story. The Medrash says he was busy at yeshiva. Avram sent him to the yeshiva of Shem Ve'ever. And Yaakov, we know, went to yeshiva of Shem Ve'ever. Judaism does not work without Torah. Torah is the prism through which we view the world. We are Aish Torah. At our heart and soul of this organization is a powerful base medrash across from the Makom HaMikdash. The most beautiful scene you could ever see is the porch of Aish Torah. When one of the shiurim of Aish Torah, the boys complete a Masechta of Gemara, and they break their teeth to say the Kaddish. Every word is a struggle, but they learned the whole Masechta of Gemara. Every Jew in the world that is Shomer Shabbos, every Jew in the world that is Shomer Kashrus must learn Torah with a Jew that doesn't have a background. It is as important as any other mitzvah in the world. We look out and we read the news reports of cemeteries being desecrated, terrible anti-Semitism. And the anti-Semites know something that sometimes we don't. The anti-Semites don't look to see who is firmer than who in the cemetery. They just know there are Jews there and they knock over the tombstones. They know that Jews, that we're one nation, one people. And I began with Har Sinai, and I'll mention it here at the end also, that when we came to Har Sinai, Vayichen Sham Yisrael, it says in the singular that we camped there. And Rashi says, why does it use the singular? Because we were one nation at Sinai. We were one people. When we are one, there is nothing we can't accomplish. Everyone knows that, but us sometimes. There is no reason that this room cannot go out and bring Jews back by the thousands, by the millions. Rav Shach, who was very close to Rav Noach Weinberg, came to Rav Yehuda Weinberg's bris in Aish Torah, and Rav Noach took him around, and Rav Shach said, he's about tshuva, he's about tshuva, he's about tshuva. He got up to speak and he said, if one man could destroy 6 million Jewish lives, one man can bring back 6 million Jews. We have to open our hearts. And I would ask you, it is easy to be excited tonight, but what's going to happen on Tuesday night? What's going to happen on Wednesday night? What's going to happen on Thursday night? We must all pledge in this room, every one of us, young to old, to give 5 minutes a day, just 5 minutes, set a Seder, put it on your phone, 10 to 10:05, 9 to 9:05, whenever it is, whenever you have time, 5 minutes. Think about your Jewish brothers and sisters. Think about them. Think about what you are going to do 5 minutes a day. Create the plan, formulate the plan. And when we come back here next year, we should have double and triple the numbers in this room, because everyone in this room will have another family here in this room with them. A family they've had to their home for Shabbos. A family they've learned Torah with. A family that they have brought back into the Jewish nation. If we can do that, then I have a feeling that the Aish building will not be the most beautiful building in the old city. I have a feeling that there will be a much more beautiful building built right across from Aish. I have a feeling that Hashem will realize that the time is right to bring back the Beis HaMikdash, to send Mashiach, and bring us back home. Thank you.